And we're live. Guys, welcome back to the Wildlands campaign. Let's take a moment, let everything, all the real life concerns of the last week fade away for the moment as we focus on the situation in our made-up world of the Wildlands. Last time, you guys defeated the Wyverns at the logging camp to the north of Wuturim. Came back to Wuturim towing many interesting treasures, including a jade key, and gold, and a golden armband, and coin, as well as 2 large wyvern eggs in a cart. You arrived back at Wuturim, and immediately went to the tavern, where you met up with your friends from earlier, and had a little bit of a party. As they were celebrating, you guys successfully liberating the logging camp, or clearing the logging camp of the wyvern nest. And now you are allowed to stay within the bounds of the town, which is, of course, under the protection of a terrible great green dragon. An adult green dragon by the name of the Mighty Zelezin, who took offense to some of your members being marked with the symbol of another dragon, a rival dragon. That's the point where we are at. At this particular moment, night is falling in the town. There are a couple of fiddlers who have struck up some music in the tavern. Everybody's a little bit tipsy, and Bliss has bid good evening to the young man he somewhat mystified. And you also spoke to a halfling merchant who gave you what you realized to be, what you intuited to be, a lowball price for the wyvern eggs. But you guys had pulled out your handy-dandy map of the Wildlands, similar to a hand-drawn version of the one we're looking at. And you've got that spread out on the table, and you are deciding what to do next.
I think we should probably get officially purchase a wagon and use it to carry those eggs around. And maybe something like a blanket to keep them warm.
I think that's a good idea.
Oh, Akiri, are they generating heat by themselves? Because a blanket's not going to do much if they're not giving off heat. We need something a little, a bucket of kittens on them or something. Do they sell kittens by the bucket here?
One of many important questions.
I'm sorry, I'm still recovering from bucket of kittens.
Forgive me, there may be other better alternatives, but one of my more unique elemental abilities is that I can warm objects at a touch, and I can keep them warm for an hour at a time with trivial effort.
I don't think you'd need to keep them warm for that long, just as long as we warm them up and then make sure they're insulated. because they're far enough along now that you don't need to be on them all the time. Just most of the time.
I mean, we're assuming that wyvern eggs operate by bird egg rules, right?
Yeah, kind of.
But we don't have any better information.
Yeah.
And it sounds better than nothing.
This is certainly not my area of expertise. I simply wanted to offer my services, but if they're not needed, then I understand.
Thanks, Vapos. We appreciate it.
I think once we get them warmed up with Vapos' power and then put them under the blankets, they'll probably be okay for a while.
That's what I was thinking. Or even if we just have someone, like, body heat it. That would be okay, too.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't mind riding in the cart.
And Kiri nods. She's passing over that entirely.
Although I
I
might,
think that's very in character for him. She's fine with this.
although I'm not quite big enough to take care of both of them.
Just kind of drape yourself over them.
You know what? I have a tail. Yeah, that might work. Are we discussing this like in our room or something?
No, this is probably out in the tavern around the table, let's be honest.
Oh, okay. No, I just want to make sure before I talk about what I talked to those people about. So I won't say anything then if we're out in public.
Yeah, I
Okay, so
believe you
tomorrow-
each took a room. You all paid for your own room in the tavern.
Should we also get a horse? I would feel bad of making Breath pull the cart the whole time.
Well, the problem is we don't really know what kind of trouble we're going to wander into as we go along. It's not a bad idea. I just don't have high hopes of that horse being with us for super long. I mean, are we still going after the frog god treasure? I kind of really want some
think so.
frog god treasure.
Oh, are
I'm
we?
just,
Yeah.
I'm worried the horse in a swamp with frog people just sounds like a bad time.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I suppose if you can carry not that I doubt your abilities, to carry the cart the whole way, it's just, that seems like a lot.
One other side note, as you guys are referencing it, you also managed to translate Oyu Lojikaj Magad as Crypt of the Magad, which is inscribed upon the Jade Key, with the attached metal disc that has a series of items listed on it in a spiral. And you identified the Magad as the ancient frog deity of these marshy forests. And you heard rumors. You spoke to a couple of the logging camp folk and heard rumors of what that crypt entails and the great treasures within, as well as the terrible guardians.
I think the plan is spend the night, wake up, and then officially get a cart. And it doesn't need to be big. I mean, the eggs aren't small, but I think a simple hand cart would do, and then we can set off.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to ask, do we intend to keep both of the eggs, or are we going to try to sell one?
I don't know. I want at least one. I guess we'll find out what happens with the other one. I don't know.
I suppose until we find a better buyer, we might as well try to keep them both alive. Of course, we could stick around this town a little longer, but I'll be honest, I'm not, and he kind of lowers his voice. I'm not confident in the wealth of this town. We probably could get a better price somewhere else.
I agree.
Ooh, oh, what if we keep one around, and we happen to run into Stray? Maybe Stray would be interested.
That's what I was thinking too. I know she's coming.
We do know where
here
she's
in a
going to
week.
be.
Yeah, she's coming here in a week, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, but we won't be here in a week. We don't have that kind of time to burn.
Yeah, maybe if we went into her again.
If not, 2 baby wyverns.
Would it be possible for, I know it'll be a little cramped, but could the rest of you meet me in my room? I want to discuss something I'm a little concerned about. And
Sure.
I'd rather speak about it in private.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So if we all go up to my room, if there's enough room for everybody, just to sit.
Yeah, there's you guys can crowd in. It's let's see, there's 5 of you.
I guess 6.
Oh yeah, 6 because Mavra as well. And where did you put the eggs? Maybe the eggs are in there too.
Imagine
You
there
can
was
crowd in there. I mean, it's cramped. It's going to be at least 3 on the bed.
Okay. Bliss. Once we're all together, Bliss will say, and he looks pretty. He's looked disturbed ever since he came back from this conversation with those other men, and he will say, "I have learned something a little troubling. So the people of this town have some sort of agreement with the dragon that has allowed them to remain under its protection, and they're very closed-lipped about what that deal specifically is. And apparently the only way you can learn about what that deal was, what it entails, is if you've lived here for a year and a day. However, in my conversation with them, I got them to tell me a little bit more about the town's history. And from what I can understand, this town should be a lot bigger than it currently is. Seeing as how it's under the protection of a dragon.
So it's been shrinking.
Or rather, it's been kept in stasis. And I'm no expert in these matters, but I've heard plenty of stories of dragons, and I think that the people here are probably being sacrificed to the dragon in return for its protection. I have no proof. No one would say it outright, but anytime I asked about this deal of theirs, they seemed very shifty-eyed and very, very insistent that things are good and everything is fine. And which, in my experience, when people insist that everything is fine, it's a sure sign that things aren't. And it just seems very suspicious to me that this town has remained so small after all these years of protection. It wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility for a dragon to do something like that, yes?
Especially a green.
I mean, let's be honest, or a red.
Especially a red.
I'm not saying we have to do anything about it. I figured it was information we probably should be aware of. And again, maybe I'm wrong. It just seemed like the most plausible explanation for what's going on.
Seems to me as if this is simply all the more reason for us to be away in the morning.
I agree with that.
Perception rules.
Fuck. I'm going to use my inspiration to re-roll that.
Look at that pretty average Akiri perception roll.
Nat 20!
That was an inspiration well spent.
Thank you.
So Bless sees everything.
Bliss got a natural 20, but it's still lower than Bref's roll. The wise and gentle barbarian. Vapos, Bliss, and Bref. You are noticing that the walls and roof of the Green Scale Tavern and Inn are creaking. Every time you guys mention the dragon that protects the town. Bliss, bonus piece of information for enrolling a natural 20. It's due to these kinds of gusts of wind that are blowing by at those exact moments.
Uh-oh.
You can smell the spicy cinnamon smell of magic in the air.
I don't mean to alarm everyone, but I think we're being spied upon. There's some magical wind that's causing the inn to creak every time we talk about the dragon.
Then let's talking about him.
I think what we can all agree on is that this dragon is doing a great job protecting this town, and we'll be sad to leave because it's been such a pleasant stay, and well, it's time for us to move on in the morning.
Yes, agreed.
I'm sure you hold that up for a good song to craft.
And perhaps we should or consider speaking of other subjects when we are further away from this city, just in case any such scrying persists.
Indeed. Perhaps it is time for bed.
All right, but thank you for sharing that perspective with us, Bliss. It certainly gives us a lot to think.
I love that you come out right after think.
Yeah.
I think Bliss actually laughs a little bit. Like, he can't not. That was too good. Okay, that was all I had.
Let's go to bed.
Yeah, Vapos will offer to try to warm up the wyvern eggs before going to sleep.
Nods. Yeah, come on.
Very well, very well. And so Vapos will approach them, and he's going to use his elemental attunement. And basically, with each action, he can heat up, or he can just kind of warm a pound of non-living material. So he's just kind of warming the shells of the eggs. And it probably takes him a few minutes to go over them because he can only do 1 pound at a time. But hopefully that should help with keeping them healthy.
I'm curious
Cool.
if you can do a candle trick again. See if there's any. Make sure they're okay in there.
So you warm up the eggs, which kind of just is like a bit of a glow that emerges from Vapos's steaming hand, and you can kind of see a flash of the little baby wyverns within, with their weird curled up shape. Inspiration to Bella for jumping up to take care of the baby who woke up. Thank you.
Welcome. She wanted to get her book about creatures, which I'm still not sure that I got the right one, but she was telling me very insistently that she loves all creatures and she wants to read about them.
That's adorable.
The party went to bed after hearing a wind kicking up.
All right.
Okay, guys. It is now Triumph Day, the 11th of Man. You sleep through the night safely in the Green Scale Tavern. And awaken the next day. It is... I used to work. Oh, wait. It is a beautiful, sunny, late spring morning. And you can smell the salt air of the sea blowing in. When you guys awaken and come down to the tavern, you see the halfling has returned, who made you the offer. Looking looking around, examining the empty cart, eating something, some kind of breakfast from the Green Scale. You can see outside Twent in his white foreman's helmet, talking to Naj Kidsa, and marching along down the street, kind of gathering people to gathering potential employees to join him at the log house. And what else? Oh yeah. You see Juke Disa, the mayor, coming up to the tavern. And he actually, after a brief conversation with the proprietor, pins a piece of paper up on the board by the door, saying, "Missing a Zygris, journeyman mage. Reward 50 silver pieces for rescue or information leading to the rescue of a Zygris." So the mayor looks around with his bright blue eyes and is buried in his dwarven beard and takes his leave, while Naj Kitsa comes in, nods at you guys, and gets right to drinking at 10 a.m.
Excellent.
What do you guys want to do?
I'd like to go talk to Twent about buying that wagon that we have from him, so I can take care of that part.
All right, so you, with a hunk of bread in hand, skip out into the street, and you manage to stop the white-helmeted, small, green lizard folk, who looks up at you and he says,
"Oh, yes, that will be, yes, we can do a deal. Yes, very happy to. You know what? I give it to you very cheap. It's a good cart, but you've done me a huge favor. why don't you just buy me breakfast? Pair of coppers.
Bliss is genuinely a little taken aback how easy
Yes,
this
yes.
was.
Breakfast will be satisfactory. Yes.
Perfect. Yes. Right away. Here's the 2 copper.
As we say in the logging business, chop chop.
Yes. Here's your 2 copper. He gives him the 2 copper and takes him inside.
Do
I
you
can't
actually
say
have
here.
coppers?
I have 1 and a silver. And I have 1 copper and then a bunch of silver, so I'm assuming I'm just gonna have to break it up.
I have 8 copper. I'd be happy to. How much is breakfast?
He wants 2 coppers.
2 coppers in it, but how much for breakfast?
Breakfast is also a copper piece.
Okay, I'll
No.
buy breakfast with my 1 copper if you can give him the 2 for the cart. Perfect. So I'll get him breakfast.
Nico, did you
Excellent.
take your share of the money last time? Because we should have each gotten 13 copper.
Yeah, I've bought a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
I bought a bunch of food.
Okay.
So one of the things I'm doing in this game is, the relative value of the coin stays the same, but it's like hard to spend gold pieces in a small town sometimes, because they deal in coppers, and then medium-sized town silvers, big city gold, but that's sort of how it works. So it's like, I think it's kind of an interesting thing that we're doing. Just to clarify for anyone wondering why I was being a stickler about that. Okay. The small green lizard folk ceases his call outs for loggers and devours a massive fried egg from the green scale. And happily licks his palm with his forked tongue and shakes on it with you, Bliss.
I will reluctantly, but very graciously, shake his slimy hand as well.
Happy with that, he is once more on his way. What else do you guys want to do? You are now the proud owners of a cart, which I warn you will make some travel more challenging.
We're doing it for the eggs, though. You've got to keep the eggs safe.
Mm-hmm.
They're like our class pet. We have to keep them alive. Plus, if they die, Akiri will be so sad, and none of us want that.
I guess we should start on our way as soon as possible.
I can't think of anything else to do in town.
Do we need to get a blanket, or are we okay with me just sitting on them?
I feel like I have a blanket just in case. So Kira's gonna go out and find a good heavy blanket, like a well-insulated blanket.
Okay, so you you head over to the general store, which is right over here. And it's just everything under the fly's wings. You are able to easily purchase a blanket. That's no problem. Which can be actually, what kind of quality are you looking for? Are you just looking for? You're not really looking for like a high quality coverlet, right? Like
No, it's like a good thick blanket, like a good like traveling kind of blanket,
Yeah,
not a
like-
tarp.
like your bedroll,
But
kind
like-
of.
Yeah, kind of. Maybe not quite that thick, but like a similar variety. Like a good solid quilt thickness.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking, like a quilt.
The proprietor has a kind of funny little small glasses, pince nez, and adjusts them and looks you over and actually has a very funny hairdo with a bronze fly hairpin at the top of a tall beehive hairdo. So a bit eccentric looking. Small town shop owner, everything under the fly's wing. Makes sense. But she offers you a very fine blanket for 5 copper pieces.
Nakiri pays happily.
Okay.
Cool. And she's gonna head back with her new blanket.
What else do you guys want to do?
I think those I had.
Yeah, I mean, I bought rations kind of off camera.
Sure, no problem.
That's the only business I had.
Okay.
Let's get out of here.
Sure.
Yeah, that's my feeling too.
All right. Where do you want to go?
Frog Castle, yeah?
Think so.
We need to head in the direction of the logging camp, and then go somewhere else.
I think
it
it's
was
up north.
from there.
Yeah, north from the logging camp.
Yeah. Did I say up north? Yeah, that was helpful. Northeast, yes.
Yeah, so the north and then northeast.
All right. Cool. You start traveling north to where the logging camp. Back along the same track. This is your 3rd time traveling it. Pulling your cart. As you travel, the land will slowly change. The Thunder Gulf Ocean is off to your left. The thick Armadan Forest is all around you and off to your right. And you go deeper into it, heading to a sort of a more marshy area. It's going to gradually become more and more marshy as you go. You start off at the top of the day. Keep in mind things will be a little bit more challenging than they otherwise would be because you are wheeling this cart carrying 2 eggs wrapped up in a thick blanket. Go ahead. What are you guys going to do in order to ensure a safe journey as you venture out of town away from the protection of the Green Dragon to the north? First one to speak up gets a temp HP.
I had an idea. Oh, go ahead,
I'm
Em.
going to do.
I was just thinking into the woods.
I had an idea. So, in wanting to use animal handling, I was thinking that Bliss would employ prestidigitation to you make sparks and loud and sounds and other things to kind of scare away any animals that might be dangerous and trying to attack the cart. So, just trying to bright lights, bright sound, loudish sounds, things to just kind of if I see wolves starting to appear, just go away, we're scary. Or if I see a mountain lion or something that just looks like it might be considering attacking us, just basically making me look making it look like, no, we're dangerous, we're magical, go away.
Huh.
A magical version of a bear bell.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You just magical
Animal
Roman.
handling, you say? Interesting.
I mean, I could do performance. That would be way better.
No, I like it. Go for it. Temp HP for you.
Shoot. Hey, Max, remember when you wanted to give me inspiration for the song I wrote? Can I have that still?
Yeah, that was... that. What do you mean still? That was serious.
Well, no, I mean because I already had inspiration and I used it earlier.
Wait, what?
When you
Oh,
gave
you
me...
want- No!
Okay. All right, then it's only a 6.
We were so close, baby.
Are you saying you want a free inspiration? Is sort of?
No, I'm saying I already had inspiration. You wanted to give me inspiration, but I already had it. So I'm asking, could I cash in on you wanting to give me one?
I get what you're saying.
You don't have to, Max. It's fine.
Hey guys, I found the bard.
So you start attracting more and more attention from the passing wildlife.
Now, does this mean Bliss is, or at least could be, a Disney princess?
It's basically for the
It's not
carry
positive attention.
So given all of the attention of the local wildlife that Bliss is attracting, Vapos is going to scout ahead and try to find other paths that we can use that might disinterest some of the local wildlife from following us.
Survival?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Hey! Supernatural 20.
Damn. Those Corey rolls.
Okay, that's 2 check marks.
Awesome.
So, guys, this track you've been following like 3 times now. Vapos finds an even better route. Probably an old VA road that still remains somewhat clear of underbrush. It was just kind of lost behind trees and whatnot, but it's higher, it's drier, and it's ideal for cart travel. Despite Bliss kind of yelling insults at the animals in animal language, the first 2 parts of the day are gloriously easy travel, actually. You actually make solid time, despite Mavra and Bref kind of taking turns pushing the cart with the eggs. You guys, if there's any other gear you want, I need you to write down somewhere on your character sheet. Like, if there's other gear you want to put on the cart, I need to know where it is. Like, is it in your giant backpack full of random things? Is it in a sheath on your person, which is assumed for most of your weapons and gear? Or is it like on the cart? Because I think you can carry a lot more weight when you're pulling a cart, but it's a little bit less easy to hand. So just mark that on your sheet. You guys can pile. What I'm trying to say is, you guys can pile more stuff on the cart. Okay. Temp HP for Vapos as well. Very nice. Who else wants to jump in?
I mean, I guess most of what I'm doing is just being the one who pulls the cart. I feel that as the day goes on and as the sun rises and things get warmer and just gets more difficult, it's just going to be more difficult to pull the cart, and I'm just going to power through it.
Constitution check, then, I guess, is what you're saying. Or
I mean, I was hoping for athletics, but Constitution works also.
athletics. I mean,
We'll do Constitution.
I guess you could say athletics. Ooh. Wow, that's not good. Not a good roll.
That extra +3 for proficiency would not have mattered.
That's true. You guys are 2 and 2 now.
No pressure or anything.
Remind me what happens if we get 3 X's?
Random
An
encounter.
encounter.
What did you say, Kate?
An encounter.
Oh, I thought you said dishonor.
That too.
You still get a temp HP, Ref. Anybody else want to jump in and try to decide things here? The day is now drawing toward the late afternoon.
All right, I'll use investigation, I guess. Or wait, was that already used? No, I'll use investigation to see if I can spot signs of danger up ahead, like animal droppings or footprints or things like that, to kind of keep everybody on their toes during parts where it looks like we might be bound for trouble.
What kind of skill?
Investigation.
Investigation. Yeah, okay, I like that. So it's you when you get to a sort of a new area. Whoa!
All right.
It's
A
Nice.
massive success. Okay, guys. You do manage to travel safely. In fact, go ahead and make a D100 roll for me. Bella.
Make a what roll?
D100, please.
A 96.
Well, despite getting a slightly later start than Twent and his logging crew, you guys arrive well before they do. And there's some daylight left. And the roads that Vapos discovered with his natural 20 actually lead pretty close to the logging camp. And probably would be a valuable piece of information for the town. You have arrived at the logging camp and it's deserted. There's no sign of the wyverns. The nest is still there from 2 days ago where you kind of tore it down. Well, cut off the bottom, etc. You can search around, but there's not much here other than what you guys left behind and the decaying bodies of several wyverns, which set up a nasty stink.
Well, I don't really think that there's any reason for us to stay here. We should keep heading north and also keep an eye out for any signs of that wizard, just in case. He's supposed to be in these woods around here. Not sure we know exactly which direction he would have gone after all this time, but yeah.
Can I know it was several weeks ago now. How long ago did the wyverns attack?
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks prior to your arrival, so 2.5 weeks.
This is a long shot, but based on what we were told about where the wizard was when the attack went down, can I kind of just go over there and look and see if there's any indication of where he might have headed off to?
Make a survival check.
Yes.
You search the wood. You still have good daylight, so... because you guys went so fast.
Nice.
That's a good roll. Wow. You find a wizard hat caught in a pricker bush, about 100 yards due north of the logging camp. And there's a sort of some more remains of old roads there as well. Heading north.
I call the party over. This might be a clue. I mean, we don't want to go too far north. Our goal does lie more towards the east, but
You remember the spell component pouch you guys found?
Yeah.
Well, this wizard hat has a buckle on it. And upon the buckle is a large, proudly displayed, embossed, fancy engraved A, letter A, in the same style, matching the spell component pouch.
Well, we could wait for the rest of the logging crew to get here and let them know about this before we leave. Unless we wanted to collect that reward ourselves.
I mean, not to sound like a hoity-toity fancy boy, but it's 50 silver. I mean, I'm more worried about the wizard than I am about the money.
In that case, should we look for him ourselves, or should we just? I at the very least, I think we should let the logging camp know, and then, in that case, just in case we can't follow up, at least they'll have something to go on.
I think we could definitely at least leave a note. You know, hat found here. Maybe that way.
Yeah. I think I have like a thing of paper. I think. No, apparently not. Never mind.
We can carve it into the side of the building.
Durr.
Whatever remains.
Wait a minute. We have rotting wyvern guts. We can use that to write it out.
How about we don't?
That's a better idea. It was a bad. I shouldn't have said it.
Yeah,
You're
let's
lucky I'm not
not.
using my stress rules. Next campaign.
Hey, my brain isn't working. How much further? Did we pass the logging crew? Like, how much further ahead do we think we are than they are?
You didn't expect to arrive here until like 4 hours from now. You made crazy good time.
Okay. I was gonna say I could use prestidigitation to leave a note on the wall of the building, but it only lasts for an hour. Although, just as a side note, I did realize that with prestidigitation, I can heat things up. So I actually am a good choice to leave on the cart with the eggs.
Okay,
Assuming that the egg counts as non-living. But yeah, no. So let's just carve a thing in the building.
yeah.
you may not recall as players. Akira, you have maximum wisdom, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, due to your 20 wisdom, as soon as Bliss says that, you're like, wasn't the longhouse full of, like, crumpled papers? Isn't that where we found those research notes?
Wait, guys. There's so much paper inside the log house. Why don't we just use that?
I sheepishly put a small dagger away.
I like to think Bliss tried to start carving something in the wall, but his wimpy ass arms like just could do nothing. Like couldn't even pierce the wood.
That's a moment. All right, so you guys write a note to the effect of, we found this hat. We think it indicates that... would your characters remember the guy's name? Oh man, am I talking too loud? Did I wake the baby, you think?
She just woke up again. All right, I'll go. Well, I'm going to give her 10 minutes.
All right, give her 10 minutes.
Sometimes they just... It's rough.
You checked her diaper last time, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you write the note to the effect of, we think a Zygris, we found it to the north, we think a Zygris probably most likely ran north along the track up there, wherever that leads. And once you've written that note, what do you guys want to do?
We're going to continue for at least part of the day.
Can't hear you, Em.
Whack. Cool. Well, we still have some daylight left, right? So we might as well have our leave.
You've got about 3 hours of daylight left, in fact.
Well, yeah. Let's keep going then.
I'm inclined to agree. I would rather not waste time such as this.
Bliss sitting on the cart. Sounds good to me.
It's a good thing you're light. This has been very easy.
Now we just need like a bench press off between Mavra and Bref, and using Bliss as like the thing.
Or have Bliss sit on their backs and make them do push-ups.
That would be funny. Okay, I need art of that.
So you guys head out of the logging camp. What direction do you go?
We're heading northeast towards 4-9.
Well, you think towards 4-9. Okay. Your head start, help me remember this, will give you guys advantage on your first roll of travel the following day. After about 3 hours of travel, the sun begins to set through the trees to the west. The nightbird sounds begin whooping, and the insects begin their night calls, and you can see a few early in the season fireflies occasionally lighting up, and their larvae forming glowworms in the bushes. You have, at this point, left the path that you were on earlier. And anything else in the forest is most likely overgrown or sunk into the marshy landscape. I'm going to ask you guys, you're going to probably want, I assume you want to make camp, or do you want to keep pushing on into the night?
Oh, well, yeah, we're gonna make camp. We don't want points of exhaustion.
Got it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, you guys make camp as the sun is setting. Pull out your rations. Some of you have spicy Dragon Balls from Waturum. I think we call them poison balls of Waturum. The spicy rations. Do you guys want to light a fire?
Yeah, because we're not hiding. I mean, we'll keep watch, obviously, but previously when we've been traveling, we've been on the run from various folks. We're not necessarily hiding from anyone right now, besides the general danger of the wildlands. I think it's the benefits outweigh the risks in this case.
You're back out in a tent in the woods. The insects swoop in to check out the light of your fire, but it's a fairly cheerful affair. You eat your rations, which of course are not the best, but you're not, you had a decent meal the day before in the tavern. And while away the evening until sleep. I assume you guys want to set up watches. So, who's on first watch?
I think Bliss would like to be on first watch since he spent most of the travel time sitting in a cart, so he's probably not very tired.
You stay up a few extra hours.
Here you will take first watch if you want.
2 of you on first watch? Alrighty. Go ahead and both of you make perception rolls.
Buddy.
Okay.
I didn't do great.
Well, Bliss, you get to thinking. Something about the fireflies in the forest reminds you of a certain place. Long ago and far away, but not as long ago and as far away as some of you would like to believe. And Akiri ends up doing the most of the looking around. Akiri, you spot a few creatures, flashes of reflective eyes in the firelight, coming to check you guys out, but nothing approaches close enough to really pose a threat. Aww. That's a moment.
Wow.
Rose
Yeah.
just now realized.
She just now told me for the first time, Ema, my name is Rose, like a rose.
That's adorable.
It's those sleepy thoughts.
And she did have a diaper, so I fixed that. But hopefully, I'm good now.
Well, I've already given you inspiration, but thank you. Okay. Nothing untoward happens during the first watch. Second watch.
I'll take it.
Vapos will step in as well.
Okay, make perception rolls.
How many do we need?
1 each.
No, how many watches do we need for the night?
I think 3 because there's 6 of us, so 2 people, 3 watches.
Okay.
This being the darkest watch of the night, Vapos's eyesight is not really up to the task. Neither is Bref, but Bref has trained ears. He's used to the wilds, being a barbarian himself, and he listens intently. Also, hearing some odd noises from far, far, far away, Bref. You faintly hear but nothing enters the circle of firelight from the dying embers of your campfire here in the forest.
I will mention that to the third watch.
I'm going to ask Mavra and Bella to roll for if you guys are on the last watch.
That's Mavra's.
Thanks. Every watch had somebody covering for somebody.
Watches of 2 are great.
Mavra is sitting there thinking about her poor sick father and mother needing her help, absorbed in her issues and perhaps nodding a little bit. Bella is on the alert, watching for danger here in this marshy forest of Armadan. But again, nothing really alarms you, but you too hear those very far distant deep croaking noises. Okay. Finally, the next day begins to dawn. You guys rouse yourselves, roll up your sleeping bags after shaking them out. Take down your tents, and you are ready to get back on the road. It is now Wonder Day, the 12th of Mand. Okay. You guys want to keep traveling to the northeast, right?
That's the plan.
Who's going to go first? And remember, you get advantage.
I'm going to, since I was the one who heard those croaking sounds, and I remember that we're heading towards a place important to frog people, I'm going to keep an ear out for any other signs of those particular creatures to help make sure we're on the right path and so we don't get ambushed.
So, perception?
That was my thought, yes.
Go for it. Trying to travel safely. You get 1 temp
18.
HP for today. 18. Okay. You keep watch and you let people know when you occasionally see odd, large webbed toed footprints in the mud. A success.
Awesome. Vapos will jump in for the next one. So Vapos doesn't know a lot about frogmen, and he doesn't know a lot about swamps, but he does know a lot about hidden temples.
That's funny.
So
Delightful.
I'd like to see if he can kind of think about, knowing what he knows about how the cult of the Nethros hid their secret meeting places and stuff, see if he can apply any of that to the current surroundings and see if there's any of the telltale signs of hidden activity.
I absolutely buy that. Go for it.
I was thinking insight for that.
Oh, insight. Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Cool. 17.
Looking for the unseen. Vapos is able to intuit from the contours of the land and the plants all around, here and there, signs, more and more signs of old crumbling ruins. Stones whose corners have long since turned round and worn away. And as you guys walk on, you occasionally, you can smell the smell of the bark of the trees all around you, and the plant life, and the old, somewhat rotten vegetation underfoot. But you also, Vapos, can almost smell or just guess at the smell of stone, and this stonework that is cleverly designed to cleverly placed to not sink into any of the marshy ground. And hidden, you can insight, with your insight, you can guess at the hidden tunnels here and there, little pockets of open caverns been underfoot. And that is another success. Okay, it being now past midday, you guys are making good progress. It's still a sort of a marshy forest, and there's mud caked on your boots, and the insects around you are going bzzz, and you can hear them up in the trees but not see them, as though the trees themselves are making the noise. And as the sun is cresting the tallest point in the sky, you hear off in the distance, somehow penetrating through the thick forest, that sound, louder now, more noticeable.
Kiri would like to do something.
Go for it.
She'd like to scout ahead in the air and see if she can get eyes on the temple.
Okay.
Or if not eyes on the temple, she'd like to keep an eye out for any froggy boys running around who might...
So you also want to use perception? I think we started with perception. So you can, but it'll be much harder.
Okay, 1 second. I think.
By the way, anybody who made a roll, you always get 1 temp HP for the day.
I wish that I had like, any useful skills whatsoever. I'll play a song for everybody and get everybody excited about marching.
Okay, actually, Max, I have a thought. Unless you want to go, Bella.
No, you go ahead.
Either one.
Cool. So, Akira's gonna be really careful about this because she's hurt them, and she wants to make sure they don't know she's there. Scouting ahead. So could I use it stealth for her? Just like staying in the canopies of the trees, just trying to make it seem like it's just a bird. Just a bird.
I can certainly see you using stealth for you that way, but stealth for the... What about the rest of the party?
Fair.
The cart certainly makes that difficult too.
Yeah.
But you can try it.
Sure, we'll see what happens.
Okay. Stealth it is. That's a very good roll. A very good roll indeed. So 1 temp HP for you. And you can't really achieve stealth unless you guys deliberately travel slowly. But you can kind of be a stealthy scout, which is I think what you were saying. So, that helps you guys travel rather swiftly, even through this challenging terrain. And with that, you are fully into, it's now starting, the sun is setting. You've made it quite a ways. And you are finding something rather interesting. Between the, you all at once, Bref finds many signs of large frog-like footprints all about. Vapos senses many hidden ruins, a large cluster of them just up ahead. And this is confirmed by Akiri, stealthily scouting ahead of the party. You have discovered there's very, very little left, really. But you have most certainly discovered this overgrown temple deep in this marshy forest. And I'm going to ask who is last to go. Akiri. Akiri, go ahead and make a D100 roll for me. $46. Your incredible wilderness skills, you guys, has given you the opportunity to discover something rather interesting. This whole time you've been kind of going through the trackless forest, but just as you are coming up to these more and more of these overgrown ruins, you are You discover a kind of a rickety old wooden bridge that seems to go from nowhere to nowhere. But sitting on top of it is a bag, and pinned to the top of the bag is a piece of paper with writing on it. Which you would not have discovered had you not been so successful.
Cool. What's it say?
Okay. You pick up a note, or unpin the note and read it. And it says, "Please return to my daughter. The bag is, while not enormous, extremely heavy. And inside are a bunch of old-looking gold coins and gems."
The
Like
note's
how-
written in
okay.
regular common?
Yep.
Is it signed?
How quaint.
Is there a
And
signature?
is there any indication of who left it and who their daughter is?
If you flip over the note, it's signed Jan the Worthless.
Huh. Kira's gonna turn to Bella and Mavro. Were you guys ever named? Is your mom named Jan the Worthless, possibly? Wait, no. Bella, I know you're
Um, you've met both my parents. We lived
fair.
in the house for a while. But I can make a history check on this.
I'm sorry. Akira's player is very tired. She's gonna turn to Mavro then and be like, "You, is that your mom? Because I know it's not my mom."
No.
Then I guess,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's normal. That's in character. Well, if it's not my mom, and it's not Bella's mom, and it's not Mavra's mom, then
I mean, we're the only people in the universe, so
it doesn't belong to us.
I would like to roll that history check.
What is my mother's actual name?
Jan the Worthless.
There is the name of a bandit. Not a major player, but a leader of a group of brigands in this area who may have attempted to plunder the temple. Which, by the way, you guys have a view of through the trees.
ooh. That's pretty.
Thanks to Tavern Tales. For posting that.
Do we see any creatures around up here?
You see, you're not really close enough to be absolutely certain. You are getting the general layout of this through glimpses through the trees. And I'm actually going to, since you got 3 check marks with no X's, once again let you choose the side from which to approach. You can also choose to reconnoiter, try and stealthily scout this more closely to see if you can spot any creatures or anything of that nature.
Akiri could. Unless anyone has anything else.
No, I mean, I have a +3 to my stealth. I don't think that would go well.
Isn't Vapos the best at that?
No. Vapos is actually only mediocre at Dex. He's much more wise. I'm happy to go if the group thinks that it would be, or it would make the most sense, but I'm not the most well versed in stealthy maneuvering.
The one thing you would be good at, Vapos, is if you do run into trouble, you seem very good at getting away from it very quickly. So you could get back to us, and we could all deal with that trouble together.
This is true.
If I may offer a counterpoint, Akiri can fly.
I'd say it, but that was also mine.
So she might be able to get out of trouble just as easy. I mean, if Akiri is our best stealth option, then I feel like it makes the most sense for her to go scout out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm okay at stealth, but I'm not amazing.
Sure, Akiri will go recon.
Okay. That means we'll be leaving the protection of your party somewhat behind.
Yeah. She's gonna go tree hopping. Just gonna hop tree to tree, just like very bird-like. Just like, what's going on here?
Flap, 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 flap. Flap, 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 flap. You start fluttering through the trees, occasionally disturbing smaller birds as you go. Go ahead and roll a stealth check and a perception check. What angle are you approaching at?
From the southwest, probably.
Okay.
That's the direction it came from. As Akiri's going, she's like, "Geez, sorry, birds. Just shh. Stop it."
There are a number of frog-like beings hidden amongst there. There's lots of normal-sized small frogs in the marshy ground. But you are able to spot as you get closer these greenish things of incredible size and with an intelligent glint in their eye, hanging out amongst the roots of these trees here. You spot both those guys, and you also spot something stranger splashing about in this pool here. It's bipedal and stands upright like a man, but it has fins and webbed clawed toes like Bref was pointing out in the marshy terrain. You think that might be one of the creatures referenced. And there's also something else in this pool. Frog spawn. It is, after all, spring. And the frogs are spawning.
Okay, I'm going to step in here and say, Akiri, no. No. No, we have enough. No more.
But I wanna!
They haven't noticed you yet.
I'm with Bref on this one.
It's fine. She doesn't want frogs. She likes spiders and lizards and pokey poisonous winged things.
Also, we're just not going to have sentient pets. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, no, Akiri is kind of morally against that for a whole bunch of reasons.
They haven't spotted you yet.
Cool. She'd like to keep it that way. So she's just gonna hippity hoppity her way to the other trees, just like in a big old circuit around the temple, just kind of looking at what's up.
Okay, make a new stealth and perception roll.
Fuck.
Okay. They haven't spotted you. They're kind of moving around doing their own thing. You see some movement in the undergrowth. You know there are more out there. And you see these wet, gross footprints leading into the crypt over here. But you don't see any other enemies yet. Do you want to keep scouting or head back?
I think she wants to do like a full circuit around the temple and then head back.
All right, a new stealth and perception roll, please.
But he just really liked giving us 9s there for a hot second.
They've spotted you.
Damn it!
They're not exactly on high alert. But you definitely see the one in the pond looking up at you. And he takes out this nasty looking trident.
Nope.
With these really sharp, pointy points.
Who knows? She's gonna take to the air.
She's
Just
gonna
like,
take off?
yeah, she's gonna nope out. She's done. She's had enough.
Okay. Make another actually, you just made a perception roll. Besides the ones you spotted, you would guess there are possibly 4 more. At least you heard 4 more croaks. Alright, so you fly on back to the party, which is about 300 yards to the south, and report in. The sun is currently low in the sky, about to hit the horizon.
All right.
You did also spot the entrance to the crypt below. It's definitely... there are several entrances around the ruins here.
Cool.
Oh, right. There's one more thing. As you're on your way back, you spot another bag with a note on top of a rock.
And she's gonna scoop it up.
She'll scoop it up as she goes.
Yeah.
Okay. On the rock, there's a dramatic, weird-looking, crude carving of a frog face. And there's some writing, kind of outlined in moss, that says "Oyu logikaj magad."
Nothing she understands. Excellent.
Okay, you carry the heavy bag with you.
Yep.
Join up with the rest of the party.
Hi guys, so I found lots of frogs and this bag.
Well, what's in it?
I don't know, I was running away from frogs.
You guys heard the chorus of croakings, alarmed croaking noises, and a kind of metallic crash. And then Akiri shows up moments later.
Then I suppose we should get ready to engage.
They aren't like super, they aren't like really on alert. I just wasn't comfy being there anymore.
Did he see you?
I think one of them did, but like he didn't seem super worried about it.
I mean, they're making a lot of noise.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're just really laid back. I don't know.
In any
Anyways.
case, if we're going to move forward, we should certainly be ready for a fight. They will be aware of us at that
Definitely.
point.
Yes. Definitely will be aware of us, yes.
What side do you, or how do you think we should make our approach? Like, from what side?
Where did I see the entrances, Max? One up by the spawning pool. One, a couple others, I'm assuming spaced around where the symbols are.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, cool. I'd say from the back, so like the very north side, I think. It definitely sounded like there was some inside of it. There's definitely some outside of it. It's just frogs everywhere. And like, some of them are like big frogs, and some of them are like really big frogs, and some of them, one of them was like a frog guy.
Do you think we could reason with them?
Maybe.
any of us speak their language?
I don't think so.
Because they have a language, right? Like we read stuff that came from them, right?
I
If we
think
wait
so.
until tomorrow, I can give you tons, but I don't have it prepared today.
I don't know if it's safe for us to stay out here for like a whole, because it's not even that late. Well, no, you said the sun was hitting the horizon. I mean, is it really safe to be this close overnight?
Probably not. I wouldn't. Because, Bref, you said you heard a lot of frogs last night, right?
Oh yeah.
And I
You
don't
know that bucket of kittens? Imagine if that was full of frogs instead.
By the way, the second note also says, "Please return my daughter."
return my daughter or return to my daughter.
No, please return my daughter.
Oh.
Is that what the first note said?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh.
we completely misunderstood that.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
return
I
to
thought
my
there was.
daughter.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
That's why we were so confused.
Oh, I misspoke. I'm sorry, guys. That's funny.
No, yeah.
No,
I
please
was
return my
imagining like
daughter, it says.
like I know I'm dead, but maybe my daughter can get these riches. But instead, it's like, okay, that changes things.
Oh, this is a rescue mission. Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's not reason with them. Let's just kill them and save this daughter.
Well, okay. I think we find ourselves in a weird situation. It's getting late. Do we really want to go start traveling into the heart of this dungeon, and then have to camp at night inside, or should we maybe try to take our chances camping out here first, and then start fresh in the morning?
Maybe if we backed off a little bit from it, like a little bit further, and then camped and just made sure we kept like really good eyes out. That might be better. Because I don't feel like going in there tonight. Personally, I don't know.
Do we feel close to exhaustion?
Well, you have been trekking through the trackless, marshy forest all day. So yeah, you're tired.
Well, do we want to risk trying to find a place to camp with all those frogs out there?
I mean, there's going to be even more inside the temple.
Indeed. I mean, I'm not entirely positive what the right answer is here, but it seems to me that if we expect this to be anything more than just an hour or two, then we should probably get to it while we're fresh.
That's my too. Because we
I
didn't
agree.
exactly. No.
Okay. So, keeping your distance from the old temple ruin, Crypt of the Magod, you guys set up a small camp in a mound of bushes, well hidden from sight. Do you wish to light a fire?
Probably shouldn't.
You do not light a fire, and so it is somewhat cold comfort, snacking on your rations. As the sun sets and the sky turns orange, there's a thunderous, booming chorus of croaks that rockets out through the forest that you distantly heard the other night. But now you're much closer, and it's just many, many throats shaking the very leaves on the trees as the evening chorus of frogmen booms out. You guys are going to sleep. I assume you are setting very careful watches.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're not going to do any rolls for that. We are about to wrap up here. And as you guys at the second watch, actually, when the moon is high in the sky, there's a midnight chorus of croakings. But this time, you hear an odd, feminine, humanoid scream. Which I will ask you all to roll a check on. You can either roll insight or perception, whichever is better for you. Bliss and breath, you know from screams. And that is not a scream of fear, but of bloodlust and elation. And with that, we are going to call tonight's session. Well done, guys. That was a lot of fun. Some classic Wildlands action there. Lots of travel.
Yeah.
Making use of the travel rules. I think that's the most extensive use of the travel rules that Nico and Corey have ever experienced.
Yeah.
So that's actually how most of this game has gone, is that kind of hex crawler style action. Cool. All right. Well, you guys made some significant progress too, so you should be proud of yourselves. We are going to pick this up next time on top of the Crypt of the Magad. That should be fun. We will let you guys know when we can play next. Thank you all for joining me, and I will, without further ado, let you get to bed. Thank you very much, Jeremy, player of Breath. Thank you to M, player of Akiri. Thank you to Kate, player of Bella. Thank you to Nico, player of Bliss. Thank you to Corey, player of Vapos. You guys are awesome. I hope you had fun exercising your different skills and trekking the trackless Wildlands. Okay. Thank you to Taladar and the man with no screen name for chatting it up in the Twitch chat. Thanks for making it a lively place, you guys. Thank you to anyone who watched this and anyone who watches this later. You are awesome. And we will bid you all a good night and a good week.
Yeah, and thank you, Max. That was a great game.
Good.
Thank you, Max.
Good. Awesome. All right. Good night.
All right. Good night, everybody.
And everybody.